Every gardener has heard a bold claim at some point. A miracle fertilizer, a secret compost recipe, a hack your grandparents supposedly used that modern science forgot. But every once in a while, a strange idea refuses to die because too many gardeners keep seeing results. Today's soil story is about one of those ideas, using a single magnet to dramatically boost plant growth. It sounds like clickbait. I get it. I was skeptical too. But after digging into research, real-world garden trials, and my own soil-first logic, I realized this isn't magic. It's physics quietly working with biology. And when you understand how it works, you can test it yourself, safely, cheaply, and without gimmicks. Let's break it down, gardener to gardener. No, you're not sticking a fridge magnet to a tomato stem and watching it explode overnight. When gardeners talk about magnets boosting plant growth, they're usually referring to magnetic exposure influencing water, soil minerals, or seed behavior. Most success stories fall into three categories: magnetized water, magnet-treated seeds, and magnetic influence in the root zone. All three revolve around the same idea: magnetic fields subtly changing how plants access nutrients and water. Plants don't grow faster because magnets are energizing them. They grow better because the soil system becomes more efficient. And soil efficiency is everything. Let's keep this grounded. Soil is not just dirt. It's a living electrical network. Minerals carry charges. Water molecules cluster. Roots communicate chemically and electrically with microbes. When water passes through a magnetic field, some studies suggest the clusters of water molecules become slightly smaller and more organized. This doesn't turn water into anything mystical. It simply makes it more mobile in soil and more available to roots. That matters because roots don't drink water like we do. They absorb it through osmotic pressure. If water moves more freely and carries nutrients more efficiently, the plant does less work to feed itself. Less stress equals faster growth. That's the real mechanism behind the magnet story. This is where most gardeners begin, and honestly, where the best results tend to show up. The method is simple. You place a strong magnet around or against a water pipe, hose, or watering container so that water passes through the magnetic field before reaching your plants. No additives, no chemicals, just water and magnetism. Gardeners who've tested this consistently report stronger seedlings, faster early growth, and greener leaves. The biggest improvements usually show up in nutrient-poor soils or container gardens where efficiency matters most. What's important here is consistency. One watering won't change anything, but repeated watering over weeks can subtly improve root uptake. Think of it like improving digestion rather than just adding more food. Another area where magnets shine is seed germination. Exposing seeds to a magnetic field for a short time before planting has been shown in multiple experiments to increase germination rates and early root development. The theory is that magnetic exposure stimulates enzyme activity inside the seed and improves how it absorbs water during that critical first stage. Faster germination means stronger seedlings, and stronger seedlings almost always outperform their weaker siblings. For home gardeners, this can be as simple as placing seeds near a strong magnet for a few hours before planting. You're not altering the seed, you're nudging it awake more efficiently. This is especially useful for older seeds or plants that struggle with slow starts, like peppers and eggplants. Here's where things get really fascinating. Roots operate in a zone filled with microbial activity, mineral exchange, and electrical signals. Introducing a magnetic field near the root zone may influence how ions like calcium, magnesium, and iron move through the soil solution. Some gardeners, bury magnets near plant roots or place them beneath pots. The results aren't universal, but when they work, the improvements tend to show up as thicker stems, deeper green leaves, and better stress tolerance. This isn't about forcing growth. It's about, reducing resistance. Healthy plants aren't the ones pushed to grow faster. They're the ones allowed to grow without friction. This is important, so let's be honest. Magnets don't create nutrients. They don't fix dead soil. They don't replace compost, mulch, or good watering habits. If your soil biology is broken, magnetism won't save it. Where magnets shine is in already functional systems. Living soil, active microbes, balanced watering. When those foundations are in place, even small efficiency gains can, snowball into noticeable growth differences. That's why some gardeners swear by magnets while others, call them nonsense. The magnet isn't the star. The soil is. If you're curious, here's how I recommend testing this in a Soil Stories approved way. So, here's what you do. Choose one plant type and grow 2 identical sets side by side. Use the same soil, the same sunlight, and the same watering schedule for both. The only difference is, one group gets magnet-treated water or seed exposure. Now, observe over time. Don't expect miracles in just 3 days. Really, you want to look for consistent differences over several weeks. Pay attention to things like leaf color, growth rate, root mass, and the overall vigor of the plants. If you see nothing, you've lost nothing. But if you see improvement, you've gained yourself a new low-cost tool. That's real gardening science. Whether magnets double plant growth for you or not, this story teaches something bigger. Plants respond to systems, not hacks. Water structure, mineral flow, microbial life, and root health all work together. Magnets don't replace good gardening, they reward it. That's why I love this topic for Soil Stories. It really reminds us that the soil is more intelligent than we think, and sometimes the smallest nudges create the biggest changes. Not because nature is fragile, but because it's finely tuned. So does one magnet double plant growth? Sometimes, under the right conditions, in the right soil, with the right expectations. But even when it doesn't, the experiment itself makes you a better gardener. You start paying attention to water, roots, and soil energy instead of just products and promises. And that mindset will outgrow any magnet. If this soil story helped you see your garden differently, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to the channel, share this with a fellow gardener, and let's keep digging into the quiet science beneath our feet. The soil always has another story to tell.